Hi, welcome back to my channel. We're going to be doing another Wildflower Design Co brief, and today we're going to be working on Moo, which is a dairy-free and vegan ice cream brand. The brand values are fresh, innovative, joyful and creative, and my thinking with this brand is to create something really playful. So if you already don't know, my name is Cami and I am a brand designer slash strategist, and here on YouTube I work on a lot of passion projects. And on Instagram, that is where I post the most, that is where I interact the most, so you can go follow me on there if you like my content on here. So yeah, let's get started.
So as always, we start with a mood board, and in my mood board I like to include the general mood and vibe, and I like to do this with photography. So something that I researched for this project is ice cream and people with ice creams, and I think that just allows us to see a little bit more into the vibe. And another thing that I do include is I try and include colours and typography, as well as other inspirations like logos, packaging, or anything that does go into this general vibe that I'm feeling for this project. And after I'm done with my Pinterest board, I like to throw it into Illustrator and condense it into around 9 photos. Seems to do the job quite nicely, and it really allows us to focus on those 9 photos, and it really creates a strong theme. And what I like to do after I pick my colours, and these specific colours are from Abi Design. She's been doing a couple of colour palettes, and these were in the bold section as well as the brave section, which I felt like could fit quite nicely with what I'm going, and I felt like the colours do really fit. And what I like to do with these colours after I'm done with my mood board is place them on top of my images and then play with the opacity, which is usually the soft colour or soft light, I don't remember which one it was. Basically I play around to see how it looks like, and then it does create a stronger vibe because of these colours, and everything becomes more cohesive as well because of these colours. Is obviously they don't have the specific colours that we are wanting, and our ideas for the colour palette are clearly not there, so putting these colours on top of them creates this vibe and theme. And after I'm done with my mood board, I jump into looking at the typography, and what I like to do is to use Adobe. I think it's a good source, as obviously if you are paying for the Adobe platform, you do get all of these wonderful fonts for free, and then you can use them for free. So, and as you can see, I did do a couple of variations. I did 2 variations of the mood board, as I wasn't sure on my first choice, and I think it's good to like explore different options, and keep in mind that your colours that you pick right now, they may change, and that is totally fine. It's a direction to go into, but you don't need to specifically, commit to this choice, as you may find out later down the line, oh, this colour fits better with our target audience and what we are going for. So keep that in mind. So I picked 4 different variations, and I really wanted to go for like a rather funky font, as you could see in my mood board. I think one of them was called like Moo Moo, something like that, Momo. So I really liked that kind of vibe. So I went with this font because of how curvy and playful and funky it was. And I felt like it had room to play about with. I didn't want to choose something that I cannot change. I didn't want to go with something that is already perfect and I can't really play about with, as then basically if this was a client, you could basically choose this font, type out the name, and you'd have the logo, which I wanted to create something that is more unique. So what I did here was just create little changes in the font. As you can see, so the Moo is not on a straight line, and I really liked that. I really wanted it to be playful, and I think having the M going one direction, the U and the exclamation mark going in another direction, it just adds to this playfulness. And I really wanted to play about with the curves on it. So like in the U, you can see I added some extra curves so it goes out and in, if you know what I mean, hopefully. Adding some more thickness in the downward stroke. So like in the U where it curves, I wanted that to be much thicker than the lines that would have been actually going up, if that makes sense. And then because this is an ice cream brand and it's called Moo, the first instinct for me to think about is a cow, and I think it's a good idea to go with. So I wanted to play about with some spots just as like a potential pattern for when I'm going into patterns, as well as working with inside the logo. So that could be like a variation, having the little spots which mimics like the cow spots. And I thought it's a good idea, and it's a nice variation. And I also thought it would be a nice idea to have a more of an icon for one of the variations, which, like I said before, I think having the spots of a cow would be nice. So I also thought that we could have an actual cow face. And what I thought we could do is use the actual shapes from the logo Moo and then create the cow from that. So I used the U as the face, and the ears would be coming from the M, as well as the horns. But this specific icon that I created first, it didn't sit right with me. It felt like it was something that I've seen before. It felt familiar and it didn't feel unique. I liked the idea of having a cow's face as an icon, as it does fit with the name and it does fit with one of the other logo variations with the little spots, but there was something off about it. So I wanted to recreate it again and really focus onto the actual logo elements. So in my second icon, I didn't make many changes to it. So I really enjoyed the fact that how many imperfections it has. So the only changes that I actually did was slight changes to the M, just to make sure that it does look like an ear and a horn rather than a weird shape. And due to these imperfections, like not changing anything, it made this more unique. And then you can see I really compared it right next to each other. And as you can see, the first one was more accurate, and the second one had these imperfections which made it like more unique, which I really liked about it, and that's the one that I went along with. And now that we have our 3 variations, this is where I go into the colour palette and I present all of the variations in the 3 different colours that I choose as a background and the main icon, the colour of that, or logo. And I really liked the colour palette that I chose at the start, so I didn't have to make any changes to it, as it already fit with the vibes that I was going for. Like I said before, sometimes you do change the colour palette since you did the mood board, and that is completely fine. But this colour palette has really worked with the vibe that I was going for, and it felt really right to the brief as well. So that's the one that I went with. And then I just moved these about just to create something more attractive to the eye rather than columns of colours.
So before we continue, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, and let's get back to it.
So what I do is I choose a mock-up and then I have a look at the sizes to see what the size is, so I can work with an Illustrator and work on the right sizes, so it's perfect when I transfer it over to Photoshop onto the mock-up. And what I did here was play about with the little cow spots that I did before for one of the logo variations, as I felt like it fit very nicely within the name being called Moo. And then it does give a little bit more interest at the bottom of the packaging. And regarding the logo, I wanted to actually combine 2 of the logos, so I'd have the cow's face and then the Moo inside, and I thought that was a nice touch, as then we not only have the icon, we also see the name of the brand. And then of course we have to add the flavour, so I place that at the bottom within the little spots. And finally, as this is a dairy-free and vegan ice cream brand, I wanted to also create a separate graphic for this. So our clients would know that this is a dairy-free and vegan product. And so I think this is a very important aspect, and it's a differentiating aspect for this brand. So it's very important to create something that does stand out, like so. The next step is creating the social media feed as an example for the client to see what their brand could look like on Instagram and what sort of content they should be posting. So as you can see, I have used some photography. I think photography is a very important aspect for a brand. It does create a strong vibe, and it's something different to post as well compared to, for this brand, it could be constantly ice cream, which I believe we should have different content pillars, and we shouldn't be posting the same thing over and over and again, as it does become repetitive, and basically your potential customer, potential follower will see that all you post is this, and it's predictable. And what I like to do is include some value posts, some photography, as well as the actual product. So as you can see here, I used the actual packaging that I've created, and the way I imagine this, it could be like a launch. So it is important to actually show the product. And like I said, it's okay to post pictures of your actual product. So here we have like actual ice cream, not just in a tub. And regarding value posts, what I like to do here for this brand is use a couple of patterns. So as you can see there, I use the moo in a circle and repeat it a couple of times, and then you'd have the value in the middle, the value text. And another option that I also have here was using the cow icon as like a shadow, and then have the actual text in the middle. And I think that's a very nice touch, creating something that is more eye-catching and eye-pleasing rather than just like a block of text. So yeah, this is the end, and I'm gonna just present it back to you guys. So sit back, relax, and see what you think.
I have enjoyed working on this project so much. I hope that you enjoyed watching my process and my thinking. And if you have enjoyed, please give it a like, subscribe and comment. You can also go follow me on Instagram. Like I said before, that's where I post the most, that's where I interact the most. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!